Oh, that was the last one.
We'll talk. Eh? Yeah. Eh? No, he will. He will. Maybe she will take more. Yeah. Well, foreigners and Dudula, the South Africans are not xenophobic. That's why structures like Dudula are not growing. It's just a tiny minority, and that is found in a particular corner of a country. We've got 9 provinces, 52 district municipalities, and how many local municipalities? 204 municipalities. And Dudula is only found in Johannesburg, and then and in Pinville. And then you want to define that as South Africa. It's not South Africa. It's not us. We are not like that. We grew up with people who came from other countries, and we never had a problem with them. Because our history dates back to us coming from the north down to the south. Each individual you can ask of their origin here in South Africa is going to take you back there where they say they don't want those people. There's an advocate, very popular advocate called Dali Mpofu. There is a Mpofu in Zimbabwe. So when we fight Mpofu, which Mpofu must we fight? Because they are all the same. There are Xhosas in Zimbabwe, there are Ndebeles in Zimbabwe, there are Zulus in Zimbabwe, there are Tswanas in Zimbabwe, there are Vendas in Zimbabwe, the same way they are here. So that's what unemployment does, and laziness of people who don't want to go look for jobs. They just go forming things here, and then they go to shops to intimidate business people because they want to get bribed. And then business people comply with such things of thugs. It's criminals. They can't do anything, nothing. So that cannot be a definition of South Africa. It's a group of criminals who are in cahoots with some ministers, by the way. They are working with them. So we have no time for thugs. There are small boys who must be put in their place. Majority of them is drunkards who were in MK, who could not find deployment, who didn't go to school. Even the ANC can't help them. So there is nothing we can do to help them. But they must never define us as South Africans. There's no way we are xenophobic. The crossing of Africans into Europe and other countries is exactly based on what I said, the mismanagement of our countries. Because we're not poor. We should be providing solutions. We are a typical example of how resourced we are. That's why you see other nations have left their countries to come and colonize us. We never went to colonize anyone. They came looking for our resources. So if people can leave their countries to come and colonize us here, it should be an evidence enough that we are resourced enough, and therefore we should use that resource for the benefit of Africans and not the other way around. There is a reluctance because to create a formidable thing like an African government, because everybody benefits from these little cocoons. You are called a president of Swaziland, prime minister or something. But your country is not bigger than Soweto. What is that? Then it means Soweto must be a country also. So, but because they benefit from that, they don't even want to engage in this discussion. Because it's an individuals who benefit from it. That's why there's no concrete plan to go into it, and there's no a single president that leads this discussion and put it firmly on the agenda of the AU. That the original thought of the AU as OAU, it was to establish, the founding fathers wanted to establish a solid government, And they got defeated in that discussion. But the intention has always been to create a solid government from its inception, that we should come together and be one. And something came out of it, and it never went back to what it was supposed to be, a government, a united government of Africa. And that's what we'll advocate for ourselves as the EFF. Africa Free Trade is a movement in the right direction. But the first thing we need to do, which the AU must firmly resolve, is to do away with the visa for Africans. There should not be a visa for Africans. The same way the Europeans have one visa, they travel everywhere, they are one thing. What they have, they don't want us to have it. There shouldn't be a visa in Africa. Free movement of people should be allowed. And there is no one who's going to leave Nigeria to come and settle here. It's not true, that thing. It's a myth. I mean, I come from a province called Limpopo. We don't need visa to go to Johannesburg. But people are still there in Limpopo. They've not left Limpopo to Johannesburg. So doing away with visa doesn't mean automatically people are going to leave their homes to where the economy is prospering. It's not true. Johannesburg, Gauteng is doing much better than Limpopo. But the people are not leaving Limpopo to Gauteng. So why would people leave Lagos to here? For what? It's their home. They will come here, look for what they are looking for, and take it back where they come from. We'll go to Lagos to do the same and come back home. We have a problem here of unemployment of South Africans who are told by the previous apartheid mentality and colonialism, brainwashed, that South Africa is superior, is better. They've got the best qualifications. They never go out of the country to go and look for jobs in other countries. Why? Why? Why are they not going all out of Africa? We have nurses, we've got, now we're told doctors, we now have teachers, we have this. Africa is in need of that skill. You going to work anywhere in Africa, in Ghana, it doesn't mean you left your home. It's the same as me leaving Limpopo to come here. When the time permits, I go back home. So what is the problem? Let's go. They need to go. The continent, it's our home. We must all go there and become one thing. Once we do away with the visa, we are going to know each other. The reason why we are scared is because we don't know each other. We know each other through the lenses of our enemies. We don't know each other. So we must first know each other if we're going to build the government of Africa. So it's important that we engage in this thing. Free movement of people and goods, it will help us appreciate the existence of each other and bring us more closer for the unity of this continent. Well, African Union is it's a meeting of friends who don't even call each other to order. They can meet with a dictator who has just, killed his own people and then meet for the whole week and not even mention it. So we can't allow the African Union to continue to work the way it is working. We are talking here about SADC. We have a problem here in Zimbabwe. These members of SADC don't call the government of Zimbabwe to order because it's a group of brothers. That government is violating people there. It has just passed a law of gatherings and speeches and all of that. If they don't like you, you're having a political rally, they just send soldiers, they shoot at you and all of. No one in SADC has raised his voice to say, but what is this? So we cannot have these regional bodies and the continental body, including Pan-African Parliament, by the way, which are not biting on countries that are engaged in wrong activities. What is wrong with President Ramaphosa calling President Mnangagwa to order? It will be coming from a good place. They are all brothers. They are all Africans. They all speak, we assume, for the interest of Africans. So we can't have a situation where we've got regional bodies, continental bodies that become a meeting of elite without concrete solutions to the problems confronting the people of Africa. We have a problem in Mozambique. The problem is solved by sending soldiers. Where have you ever seen soldiers solving a problem? Soldiers don't solve a problem. The leadership must meet and discuss and come up with a binding decision. That's why we say we need one legislature, one military, one currency, one president, so that we know when we go into Mozambique, it's not an interference, it's us providing a solution to our own problems. So we are not happy with how these things are structured.